It's that time of the week again. So let's take a look at the books on the pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and I hate Mondays. It's been a slow Monday. We're back to the office, back to the grind, and the one thing that is great about Monday can be looking forward to Tuesday and Wednesday, which are New Comic Book Day. So this time, we're taking a look at New Comic Book Day, December 13th, 2023. Taking a look at the books coming out so I can tell you what's on the pull list, what's on the chopping block, and some books that I'm on the fence about or that are on the radar. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, got to give a huge shout out to Organic Priced Books, our channel sponsor. Once these single issues are collected into trades and omnibus and hardcovers, you can order them there for prices up to 38% off the retail price, or the cover price, as we'd call it. And if you use my discount code BJKicks at checkout, you'll save $2 on every order every time. So huge thanks to Organic Priced Books for sponsoring this video, which is part of the 25 Days of Comics. Yes, I missed yesterday. My bad. We're going to have to double up one of these days. So stay tuned, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you know when the replacement video comes out. 25 days, 25 comic book videos. It's going to be fun. But now, let's go ahead and start this list off with a bang with the book that I am most excited to read this week. And that is from DC Comics. It's Superman Lost, issue number 9. It's written by Christopher Priest with art by Carlos Pugalian. And this is issue 9 of the 10-issue maxi series. And it's Clark Kent versus Lex Luthor, of course. Now, if you're not reading Superman Lost, issue 9 is probably not a great place to start. You should go back and find the single issues or wait for a hardcover, because I'm assuming that's coming sometime next year. But this is a story about basically Clark, or Superman, flew through a singularity, a hole in space-time, and got lost and had to find his way back. And so it took him something like 25, 30 years to get back. But when he got back to our Earth and his normal life, it had only been like a day that had passed in our life. So that's crazy. So anyway, what we get is a Superman with PTSD. And so Lois is trying to snap him out of his PTSD here in the current day. And in the past, we're learning about all the things that he experienced during that whole 25-year journey. And it's pretty cool. What I love about this is the way that Lois is trying to snap Clark back into current reality. And she has employed Lex Luthor to do something incredibly sinister, like crazy sinister. And it seems like Superman has caught on. And so in this issue, we should be getting quite the confrontation. I'm really excited to see how this series wraps up between this issue and number 10 next month. This has been a really, really good series. One of the best of the year, quiet as kept. And that's even among all the Dawn of DC stuff. So Superman Lost, issue number 9 is out this week with a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And DC is pretty much dominating my pull list this week, I gotta say. So the next book on the pull list is Action Comics issue 1060. This will be known as Philip Kennedy Johnson's last issue on the title before Jason Aaron and a team of all-stars come to take over the title next month. I'm going to be sad to see this title go. I kind of stopped reading it, just to put off the ending. But Philip Kennedy Johnson's been doing a masterclass on this title for the last 18, 24 months. I can't even remember when this started. Like, this was during the Future State and all that. He's been on this title. It's been really, really good. Like I said, sad to see it go, but this issue probably won't end up being my favorite. It's got Constantine and Etrigan, which, not really my favorite parts of the DC universe, but Philip Kennedy Johnson has won me over as a writer. Everything I've read from him, I've read some of his James Bond. I've read, he's got Hulk over at Marvel. Everything I've read with that man's name on it has been golden. So I'll follow him wherever he goes, including that Green Lantern John Stewart series that should be out in a couple weeks. But anyway, Action Comics 1060. Cover price on this is $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And the next book on the pull list is Batman and Robin, issue number 4. This Batman and Robin series, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Simone DeMeo, looks great. The story's great. Something about it just feels unnecessary. Maybe just because we're getting so much Batman and We had the Gotham War and all that. And this book really does just feel like it's happening off to the side with like a different Batman that just also has Damian with him. It's really weird, but it's really good. There's a new villain. Her name is Shush. Is she related to Hush at all? We'll find out, I suppose. And even something about that premise just kind of feels juvenile in a way. But what I've loved about this series all the way through is Batman and Damian's relationship. Bruce and Damian, Batman and Robin. This father and son dynamic is really being tested, and I like it a lot. And Batman's being haunted for reasons that you'll have to read in the book, and Damian's trying to solve it. Again, really love the father and son dynamic in this book. So even with all the other gripes that I have, this has been a series that I would recommend you read. Cover price on this is $4.99. Grabbing cover A. And the next book on the pull list is one that I am not caught up on. This is Detective Comics issue 1079. This is part 3 or 4. I think it's part 3 in the bi-weekly Batman Outlaw saga. And that's all I got for you. Love that cover though. Cover price on this one is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. It's written by Ram V with art by Jason Shawn Alexander. So it's going to be a great book to look at, if nothing else. Next book on the DC Comics pull list is Green Lantern, issue number 6. Green Lantern, written by Jeremy Adams with art by Hermonico. Yo, this is probably, it's top 2 and it's not 2. It might be my favorite book at DC Comics right now, which is crazy considering I'm not even a Hal Jordan fan. This book has just been good, though. It's been really fun. They finally injected it with some heart and some gravitas, like in a way that makes me, if not root for Hal Jordan, at the very least, relate to him enough or sympathize with him enough. And that's a stark contrast from how I felt about Hal Jordan after issue 1. And Jeremy Adams is just a great writer. But even above all of that, the art by Hermonico, this is just begging to be a DC animated universe movie. Like it just is. And having Sinestro as the villain in the first arc just makes it feel like a blockbuster popcorn comic. And that's what it is. But it's got heart. Green Lantern issue number 6 has a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the DC Comics pull list is Titans Beast World, issue number 2. I haven't even read issue number 1 yet. I think it's a bi-weekly series. Like, I'm like, when did issue 1 come out? It couldn't have been that long ago. I think it's only been like 2 weeks. I'm honestly not crazy sold on a line-wide event, but they did that Waller Rising issue last year, and apparently there's like an all-black team trying to rise up against Waller, and I'm like, I kind of have to grab it, right? Like, that just seems like something, like, I can't have the rant that I had for the milestone 30th anniversary and then also not buy that issue. So, I don't know. They're going to suck me into Beast World one way or another. But cover price on this one, issue 2, is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that is finally it for the DC Comics on the pull list. If I stick to the list, those will cost me $30 this week. So, not a bad week. But let's move over to the House of Ideas. At Marvel Comics, I've got 2 books on the pull list. And the first is Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 13. This part of the Gang War crossover. Gang War started in earnest last week with The Amazing Spider-Man. And we're going to pick it up in Miles Morales. It's funny. Miles and Peter have this thing going on, like where Peter's trying to be the mentor and Miles is like, nah, I got it. Or, nah, I'm going to do my own thing. Right. So that's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. But they got differing opinions on how they're going to handle certain. It's not even necessarily differing opinions. It's just Peter trying to be the mentor and Miles is like, hey, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. Been a cool dynamic. Cover price on this one is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the Marvel Comics pull list this week is X-Men Red, issue number 18. This is the final issue of X-Men Red, written by Al Ewing. I don't know who's on art this time around. But X-Men Red basically being the story of Arakko ever since they terraformed Mars and moved from the island of Arakko to the planet of Arakko. And Storm has been like the sort of reluctant monarch. And then Genesis is back and she wants her crown back. And so we're going to get them fighting for the destiny of Arakko. I fell off of this series after Sins of Sinister, and I should probably pick it back up for this final 6-issue story arc. But I was loving it. I was loving it until Sins of Sinister interrupted it. But between Judgment Day and Sins of Sinister, although Judgment Day had really big consequences for Arakko specifically, but something between Judgment Day and Sins of Sinister just made me feel like, yo, I just want the X-Men back. And if we got to end Krakoa to do that, let's do that. So I'll have to come back and read this final issue when I do my reread of all of X-Men post Sins of Sinister. Cover price on this one's got cover price on this one is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it for the Marvel books on the pull list. So if I stick to the list, those will just cost me $8, which means my grand total this week is $38. Now, you might be mentioning or saying right now, yo, Kicks, there's no indies on your list. And you would be right. You'd be correct. But don't get me wrong. There are a couple of indie books on the radar this week, including Space Usagi, issue number 1, written and drawn by Stan Sakai from Dark Horse Comics, on his Dogu imprint. Is it Dogu? I think that's what it's called. I'm not a huge Usagi Yojimbo reader. I did read the Usagi TMNT series earlier this year from Dark Horse and really enjoyed it. And it made me want to get more into the world of Usagi, which is why this whole Space Usagi thing is on my radar. I even saw a Space Usagi action figure that my man Mitch unboxed recently. Mitch from Omni Buddy, go follow him. But all that to say, I'm curious about Usagi, not enough to spend more money on Usagi before I read more Usagi. I mean, I got like 9 volumes of Usagi Yojimbo, and so I should probably just start there before I buy any more Usagi in single issues. Plus, this is a 3-issue miniseries, and it'll be collected into hardcover, which is already solicited, so I'll probably just grab that. Cover price on this one, though, $4.99 if you're into it. Next up, this just looked fun. Sonic the Hedgehog Winter Jam number 1. One of the reasons there's no indies on my list is there's so many like indie horror comics this time of year trying to like capitalize on the whole Christmas and horror movie trend. I get it. It's just not for me. This, though, is a Christmas comic that I probably could get behind. Sonic the Hedgehog Winter Jam. Just looks like a fun book to have. No idea what it's about, but cover price on it is $4.99. Yo, comics are expensive now. Like, comics are dope, but comics are expensive. They are all $4.99, except the 2 Marvel books on my list this week. That's crazy. Speaking of crazy, Batman, issue 423. They got a faux simile edition coming out. Faux simile, meaning it's not really a facsimile because it never fully existed. I'm going to spoil something for you, just in case you didn't know. Batman issue 423 features the death of Jason Todd. And there's a whole infamous story that you can read in the solicits. There was a whole 900 number and people had to vote. Oh, is Jason Todd going to live or is he going to die? And of course, the fans voted for him to die. But the voting came so close, they had an alternate ending drafted up just in case where Jason Todd lived. And if you have the Death in the Family Deluxe Edition, I think even if you had the Death in the Family trade paperback a little while back, you have seen those pages that they drew up just in case Jason Todd lived. But now they're putting it in a single issue comic for you to enjoy as if Jason Todd had lived. Since, of course, Jason Todd did live. Kind of. Anyway, if you want that faux simile edition, cover price on it is $4.99. So those are some books that could probably be on the radar. But yeah, there's just no indies on my list this week. I don't apologize for it. Not this week. Next week, though. We'll talk. But anyway, what's on your pull list this week? I'm really excited to get back into Action Comics. I'm gonna go back and binge the issues that I've missed out on. And then after that, I probably will go ahead and binge X-Men Red. I may not go through with all of the Fall of X right now, but X-Men Red featuring one of my favorite characters in Storm. Probably going to be a fun read. I'm still working on the 25 Days of Comics. And like I said, I'm like a video and a half behind right now. So I got a few reviews up my sleeve. There's been books that I've been cramming, trying to finish over the last couple of weeks so that I can review them. So again, stay tuned to the channel for those. If you are not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? And if you are subscribed and you're looking for another way to support, maybe join these lovely people and become a channel member. For a small monthly donation, you can be an executive producer or an associate producer on the channel. It gets you early access to certain videos and a special thanks in the comments, because there really is people like you that make everything on this channel possible. With that said, I got to get back to my reading so I can get back to the reviews, but I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Till then, be safe, be awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.